In this segment, let's talk about terminology in the dance world. Understand, depending on the dance style that you're learning, the terminology is different. That means that the same thing, right, the same kind of move will have a different name, and after a while you get to learn that. So when I'm teaching you, and I'm teaching you how a single person would step forward and back and do different things, and I say, if you have a partner, your partner will be the opposite to you. By opposite, I mean I'm stepping forward on my left and my partner's stepping back on their right. So we are the absolute opposite of each other, okay? Now, that means we are doing the same footwork, only at a different time during the dance. We're both going forward with our left and both going back with our right, just not at the same time. Opposed to that is what's called a mirror image. And when you're dancing, you're typically going together back and forth. Now, some dance styles, such as the hustle and East Coast swing, you are actually mirror image of each other. I go back on my left and my partner goes back on her right at the same time. So we're actually going away from each other. Or if we're side by side in East Coast swing, I'm going back on my left, she goes back on her right. So if you're learning to be the follow, you need to understand, are you learning the opposite, which means you're doing the same footwork, or you are learning mirror image. So you need to learn to dance on the opposite foot to your partner. The next one to think about is called line of dance. If you're in ballroom or country dancing, you dance counterclockwise around the dance floor. That is the etiquette. If you're doing dancing such as West Coast swing, which I call on the spot because you're not traveling, you all line up along the length of the dance floor. So you're in rows across the dance floor along the length, and you travel back and forth along the length of the dance floor. That's the line of dance for West Coast swing. Next one is to lead or to follow. The lead decides what's going to happen next and provides signals to the partner through foot position, body position, hand position. And it's up to the follow to understand the move, understand the lead, the signal they've just been given, and to execute. It is not up to the lead to push and pull their partner around the dance floor. That's a fallacy. That's not what leading is. Leading is simply sending signals. Now, let's say you're doing a right-hand turn. So you're turning around your right foot in a clockwise direction. In ballroom, that's called a natural turn. If you were to turn the other way to the left around your left foot, that is called a reverse turn. Next thing, if you're changing places with your partner, you're exchanging. You're changing places, sometimes called an exchange. In Latin, that's called a crossbody lead. And in some dances, such as the hustle, because you tend to rotate around each other, they call that a wheel. But at the end of the day, you're changing places. Now, if I was to take my partner and get them to turn, if I turn them towards me and back out, that's called an inside turn. And typically, it's underarm. They come under my arm and go around. If I get them to go in the opposite direction, away from me, that is called an outside turn. Now, some dances, such as West Coast swing and salsa, are danced what's called in the slot, or between the rails, or in the track, as if it's a railway track, and you're going along the length of the railway track. And it's etiquette for the lead to step off the track as the follow comes through, and then to go back onto the track. So the follow always stays between the track in the slot. Now, some dances, like the hustle, we both step back at the same time. In salsa, you're following each other, but there are times when you want to step back at the same time. That, in these dances, causes tension between you. It's like a spring, allows you to quickly change places, and that's called a breakback. So, and the last thing we're going to talk about is when you do change places, if I want my partner to come walk past me in a straight line, that's called a pass. Now, I don't move, my feet are still stepping on time, but my partner comes past me, and that's a pass. In Latin, in salsa, if we were to do that, that's called a catwalk. Anyway, so passes and catwalks. There you go, there's some terminology in the dance world.